Welcome to another Real Dad Movement Daily Revelation. This one, today's topic is, well, it's about fear, but it's also about hesitation. And that's the key thing here. Understanding what hesitation leads to. Hesitation will breed fear. It feeds it. It fuels it. It puts you in a state where time just keeps elapsing. Yeah, what's time anyway? It's a period of present moments in which you still haven't taken action. You haven't done something. You haven't executed. Is it right? Is it wrong? Is it right? Is it wrong? Jesus, mate, if you live there, how will you ever know? And that's where I come down to one of the other episodes where I spoke about true power and really recognizing that it's not just learning something. You see that in the modern world. People procrastinate with overindulging in information, learnings, studying, courses. You hear that saying paralysis by analysis, just over analyzing. There will never be perfect conditions. Nothing will ever be perfect. In fact, the perfect opportunity is right now. The perfect time is right now, because from here, you'll get something and acquire a skill set and a level of experience and a level of expertise to handle objections, tactics, rejections, your own life stories, belief systems, engaging with other people, charisma, communication, all these different things from living life, doing life, taking action in life. And that's why I touched on earlier, experiences, massively underrated. And you can't beat that stuff. And look, it doesn't mean you need to go looking for trauma and pain in your life to learn something. I've had 4 knee operations in Rico's. I've got a bone on bone knee of a 70-year-old. It's shot, right? I don't need to go and bust my knee up again to know what that feeling's like and repeat that pattern or wish this on someone else to have a high level of appreciation that it's good to have a good set of legs in which I've got cartilage and meniscus to support my joints. You don't necessarily have to go through that. And look, my father told me something many, many times, and it's true, but everything's in context, right? And you need to comprehend it the right way. Al, it's better to learn from someone else's mistakes than to learn from your own. True in many forms, but also not true in many others, because yes, you will learn, but it's about the purpose behind the learning. And that's what I'm about. It's always about just peeling one layer back. This isn't about diving deep and heavy. Just peel one layer back. Okay, I can learn from someone else's mistakes, but how do I know the right method in which to adopt a different course of actions from which I can then express the right method, the right result, and the right outcome for me without having a comparable data or set of systems or set of experiences to know the difference? Put it this way, you've got a child who's been born and they've never ever seen night, and you're up in Norway, or I think it's up there somewhere in the Nordic regions, Northern Hemisphere, and I think it's day there. There's periods, I'm sure, where it's day for 24 hours, or there's periods of months where it's barely ever night. How would you ever know? My point is this, it's two sides of the same coin, day and night. Yes, you desire this. Well, you also desire this because you know on the flip side of that, here is the pain and the problem and ultimately, the discomfort that you have in your life. So both are important, but yes, my father is right to a degree. You can speed up learning and processes and systems from analyzing what others have done before you and looking to maybe replicate or really put your own spin on what you need to get out of that in your own right, in your own light of what it is that you're trying to achieve. But you can't beat life experience. Now, life experience in many, many ways is something that can truly help you, but you won't have any of that if you continue to hesitate. And hesitation, again, like I said, just peel the onion layer off one at a time. Why are you hesitating? What's holding you back? What's your greatest fear? Do you know that the more you hesitate, the more you're actually fueling that fear of yours, the more you're creating this fear and this illusion that this is real? I've heard many different terms. I've got one which is falsely engaging another reality. That's my acronym for fear. I think there were other ones, false events appearing real, I think I've heard before, but I don't know, just like being creative and trying to come up with different ones, but it is true. Both of them are real. Falsely engaging another reality because you fear the outcome that hasn't even been lived yet. You haven't even seen it yet. So you're putting in place roadblocks and barriers in your life through hesitating again, reinforcing and fueling a fear or a lack of belief or a current belief system in which there's a set of circumstances presented before you or an outcome that can or can't be reached based on what you believe and the hesitation and the fear that's driven off the back of that. Now, I've done a talk about belief in another episode, and it's true. If you hesitate, you're fueling the fire of fear, and you're holding and robbing yourself back from future present moments of a future reality and current present moments of a future reality that doesn't even exist yet. Like, it's a two-pronged approach. You're killing the now and you're killing the future of an extended future version that might not even come into existence. Like, there are an infinite number of realities out there for you right now. I can cut this podcast off right now and run down and grab a bottle of water. I could cut this off and jump in my car and go for a drive. I can keep talking about this for 40 minutes. Like, there, right now, just in this room, there are 10 different things I could do right now, 10 different realities and futures that can exist. The problem is, mate, when you hesitate, you're not pulling the trigger. You're not taking action. You're not collecting data on yourself, on your life, on your behavioral patterns, on your attitude, on the atmosphere around you, the environment that you're consistently placed in. Is this good for me? Yes or no? You don't know if you've dived into it. And this doesn't mean being a yes man or a no man one way or the other. Yes, it's important to analyze and look at the conditions and what you're doing. Don't dive in blind, but it's also important to realize that this is life. Anyone you see that's successful in any form, whether it's the amount of children they have, the amount of houses they have, the bank account balance they have, the amount of people's lives they've impacted, know this: they've taken more action and failed more than anyone else out there. They've been, like I said in another episode, they've been rejected more than anyone else out there. And the amount of times you get rejected and keep coming back and coming back, you learn. You open your ears, you listen, you pay attention, you have a high level of awareness. I'll tell you right now, none of that, I guarantee you, none of that will exist if you continue to hesitate. But you just keep hesitating. It's a pattern. It's a habit. It's a cue that just comes about, and that's it. I just stop. Is it based around money, relationships, the gym, food? And from this hesitation, these stories creep in and feed these fears, and you don't know what to do, and you're stuck. You're stagnant. You're a deer in the headlights. People live their life like this. People will live 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years like this. And that's okay for me. There's no right or wrong. Just put your hand up and fucking own it. When you're 80 years old and you look back and you've wasted 60 years of your life and you regret it then, how dare you? Don't you dare. Why would you regret that? How could you? That's not your right. You've chosen that. You've hesitated. You've taken ownership over that because it's what you've done. You are happy about that, whether you express that or not. And that might, look, what I said just then might come across harsh, and it is, but it's the truth. And when you live in the truth, you liberate yourself, and do that. Liberate yourself right now and stop living in a state of hesitation and take action with something that you feel is limiting you back and go, what's the worst that will happen? And that is the truth. Like, look at us right now, 1 in 400 trillion chance of being here. You've already won, mate. The sperm, your sperm got through. Mate, he swam in and he went, well, whatever way it's done. I mean, we had IVF for our kids, but the end of the day is you're here, right now. And one day you won't be. That's it. The end. Done. What do you got to lose? Just do it. Do it, man. Live your life. Take action. You know, like from footy to, I can go on for hours with this, but with footy, the operations I had, losing my home, having no money, heavily relying on my wife, unknown credit cards she didn't know about, failing gyms, all these different things put us in so much pressure, breaking up, getting back together. I've been with her since high school, all these different things. It's so hard, and they're all so many beautiful gifts, which has made me continually grow and expand and stretch because I took action. I had to go. I went from leaving school to working casual somewhere to just, I'm going to have a crack at footy. And because I trained from being an obese boy to a fit man at that time, I was very strong, I was very fit, crushed the preseason. I went from the local team making the training squad in 18 months, from the local team to playing and training with first grade with the Panthers. 18 months. That's it. I played 1 year of footy, under 13s Division 4, this big fat oaf, which did nothing, so I won't count that as a year of playing. And before that, it was soccer and cricket. 18 months, because I just had a crack. And I kept going. I kept going. I didn't hesitate. People didn't like me. I wasn't in with the clique. No one knew who I was. There were plenty of discomforts, hardships, and plenty of those head noises, but I just kept taking action, like I am right here, right now. He who hesitates masturbates. I'll never forget that, especially being a fat teenager. Look, at the end of the day, you can hesitate, you can hold back, don't take action, don't make decisions. Just make sure you own it and you're happy with that, because if you weren't happy, you wouldn't do it. And you can change it, you can break the pattern. There are plenty of resources in today's day and age, right here, right now, listening to this. You can take action if and so you are willing to tap into the free will that you do have and choose. Make a choice. That's what life is. Stick to the choice and then get after it, and then reflect and grow and reflect and go again. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Hit you with another one soon. Cheers.